Our concept for the grid was based around 3 cities: Sydney, Chongqing and London. These cities are selected because of their personal connections to both Annie and I.
I'm okay. I'm awake.
We used Ian McArthur, who works at the University of New South Wales, and we do sound pieces where we use the internet in order to kind of disrupt what we do. But what we found is that because we get so used to the disruption, it actually becomes so familiar that it's almost like we disrupt it as opposed to it disrupts us. Does that make any sense? And also I've discovered in the last 3 days, because I've been thinking about it, that I end up playing against myself. So it's almost for me like quantum physics. It's almost like I'm in 2 spaces at once and I'm playing against this disruption and myself and what Ian's doing. Ian predominantly works with electronics, guitars and field recordings.
Time is a big factor in what we do. And one of the most obvious kind of examples of that is latency. In telematics, latency is a big issue. And it manifests, in our work at least, as feedback loops and glitches and echoes that emerge from our use of tools like Skype and Mixler. For each city, we decided upon different research methods. For Sydney, we elected to explore drones, some field recordings, but largely approach representing the city through the drone, perhaps an allusion to its suburban monotony. Our approach to Chongqing was based almost solely on field recordings.
What I discovered that I thought was most interesting was that gridding London was remarkably easy to layer across a stave, a music stave across London, and then form notes through intersections, and then talk to people who lived around those intersections about their experience of living in London.
Cities like Chongqing, in particular, don't really feature a grid as such. They've evolved rather organically. And Chongqing is such a 3D city. It's very much driven by the landscape.
It's hard to say what my favourite place in London is, because where I'm from, there is nothing. There is no music scene, no art scene, no... It's hard to say what my favourite place in London is, because it's a terrible little town. Where I'm from,
What I also found interesting was that people formed their own grids. They either walked to work in the same way or in the same direction, or they took similar paths when they went to the cinema, or all sorts of things. And these were not just dictated by public transport, but they were also dictated by the mood of the individuals, and what sort of weather there was, all kinds of stuff like this. So that they formed their own rhythms and their own patterns that were associated with the rhythms and patterns of the city, as in the buses, the tubes, opening and closing times of places, cultural places, etc., etc.
They walked off with my handbag with my money in it, so I couldn't get a bus. So I thought the only way to get home is to walk. And as I didn't know the way, I had to follow the bus route. I said, but I'm here now. And so they then had to go out to the phone box where you had to put 4 old pennies in it.
During this process in November of 2018, we created a workshop for sound walking and sound mapping, drawing a lot on Guy Debord's notion of the derive. The students were divided up into small self-selecting teams, and each team was given a destination, a metro station. And the task was for them to go out into the city to find the destination, to map it visually, creating a sound map, and then to record the environment. Now that data was brought back to the studio, and we began to manipulate the recordings and the data into an interactive sound map, but also a sound collage of the sonic urban environment of Chongqing, which was broadcast out of New York on Wavephone in our December issue of Itinerant Mind.
London is ramshackled, we know that. But people found a sense of sort of a formula, if you like, out of that chaos. A formula that worked for them, particularly worked for them, and one that sometimes they broke just to find out what was round that corner. Where was that sort of smell coming from? What was the sound that they could hear? So they broke their own formulas in order to discover new things about London.
But, time also plays into what we do with regard to time zones. We live at opposite ends of the planet. And so, we've embraced this, and in a way, it's a key factor in our project.
Yeah.